Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 6 of the Queen City Jamboree, the last game of the night, and we will see the Pembroke Academy Spartans versus the Manchester Central Little Green. My name is Kyle Heavey. Glad to be with you as we have crossed the 10 o'clock hour, the latest game we've ever had here on for football on Manchester TV. And Coach Tom Bezoin, we're excited to see what will happen between the Division I Little Green and the Division II Spartans, who will be facing Manchester West next Friday. So we'll see them again in in a week's time.
I'm sure Coach Proventure's downstairs watching now. But it's past my bedtime, but I'm here.
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
You can see that the Little Green are pumped up right now as the Spartans are clamoring together as well. This is not Sparta. This is Gill Stadium. So we'll see what type of game this will be, as Pembroke rocking some black instead of the green. Kind of surprising to me here to see that they're going with the very dark colors. But either way, both teams excited to get out here, and 8 days of practice for your first real considerate game. And now we'll see what is in store. And for this Central squad, I've liked to see a lot of the players. I've been to a practice or two to see what's in store, and I'm really enjoying their QB, who is looking very good in Drake Jamies, sophomore quarterback.
I've heard good things about him. And Pembroke, I always like to come into town because I never lost to them.
There you go.
So I always like to see them come. We had some pretty close games when I was at West, but we never lost to them. So I don't think Andrew has either. So I think they got a pretty good streak going up to the game next week. And they look like they're pretty thin on the sidelines there. Central's got not that many players dressed, but they don't dress their underclassmen for this.
Well, for this Pembroke squad, just 3 seniors, Coach, which a very young squad. So I know Caden Moores is one of the captains, and his brother played with me, and a good kick here that is not picked up cleanly by the Little Green, trying to find some room. Gets to the 20 and still on his feet. Gets to the 25, looking to cut back the other way. Still on his feet. Look at this, Coach. Out to the 40, the 45, the 50, the 40 now. Oh, my goodness. Try it. One man to beat. And we got a penalty thrown, but a good return right there.
We got 2. So there's blocking the back here on the 25, way back here. And then actually on the 25 over there.
I see this over here.
Both 25-yard lines, there was a block in the back. So I think they'll accept the one way back here.
I'm assuming they're going to take the one much further downfield. And, both teams, special teams, has something to work on going forward. But at the same time, the penalties helping the Pembroke squad here to keep things going.
Yeah.
So
it was a good run back, though.
It certainly was. A lot of energy here to start this game. As, again, we have
that was Trevor Gray?
I believe that was Trevor Gray.
Sophomore?
These dark jerseys pretty tough to see in some ways. So
they're not good for us. They don't have an outline, right? So it's like the number should have like a silver outline or some kind of, But, you get used to them, I guess.
Cole Preston comes out and the wide receiver kind of late. And now Drake will come out, give the play, and we'll get things going here. Again, a 1st and 10. And the ball is actually going to come back. This is a tough start here, as they will start from the 15-yard line, roughly the 16. So, referees ready to go. And now, first play from scrimmage. Drake with the handoff. Nice run up the middle here. Still on his feet. Look at this. He could go all the way. The 50, the 40, the 30, the 20. Just the referee to beat. And he's able to get in for the touchdown.
Whoa. You can't spike it.
And now we'll see no flags on the field, and a 84-yard run, Coach. Great way for the Spartans.
I'm trying to catch the
Little Green.
I can't tell. Is it? I can't even tell the number. I mean, these jerseys are rough. It's tough. I want to say who the kid was.
It looks like it is number 30 in Jabril Juma.
Okay.
As he gets a lot of love from his teammates and a big run here to start this last game of the Jamboree. He's dropping his helmet, drinking some water, and excitement here for the Little Green. As now we'll see, they're going to go for 2 on this, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe they don't have their kicker ready. That happens.
Well, Drake. And a little false start as the center had movement.
And, it looks like they're going to have a lot of space to run around here. Pembroke looks like, they're pretty thin over there. You look at the sidelines, and they really only have, 10, 11 kids over there. So, we're talking about 22 players. And they don't have a lot of experience. They have a few seniors.
Just 3 seniors.
And they've had a tough time fielding teams up there recent years. Coach has done a good job. I get to know him when I was at West, and he played at West, so he's done a decent job. It's just it's so hard, when you have schools that are like soccer schools that you're trying to get kids to come out and play.
Now Drake pushing back, a little toss. And can he get some blocks? He does, and the 2-point conversion is good. And Central Little Green taking an early 8-0 lead just 36 seconds into this first half.
And it's going to be a tough game to manage, I think, for Coach Ray because, it looks to me like he, because of the lateness and like the delays and stuff, he probably let his younger guys go. They were – there was a freshman jamboree pretty yesterday, right? So they had that. So he probably said there was younger guys. You don't have to dress or you can go home because it's so late. So you don't have that many twos to put in there if the game gets out of control. So hopefully Pembroke can do a little something on offense to try to slow Central down because it looks like they're going to run all over the place tonight.
Well, kicking off here goes the Little Green, a little pooch kick, and this will be caught at the 34-yard line and just thankfully able to get a hold of it. Central was running pretty fast on that, trying to make the play happen, and thankfully Pembroke was able to capitalize as taking that was number 7, and I believe it's Adam Elmo Kadem. That's a tough one to say, as number 7 was able to capitalize on catching that pooch kick. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans. And
all I know is I hope Coach Ray retires these jerseys after tonight.
This could be a tough season.
During the season, I want to see some numbers that we can. During the day it's okay, but at night, when they're so dark on dark, it's not a good design.
Porter Brown doing the QB duty, hands it off, and able to get some positive yards are the Spartans as a 1st and 10, and look to see what number 1 will be doing here in Cole Demers. I thought there was pushing and shoving for the Spartans for a second.
On the edge there was the block went a little long, but hey, it's tackle football here. We can be a little physical. It's okay.
So back behind is Brown. Man in motion. He's going to take it, trying to get to the outside. Doesn't have a lot of blockers, and he is brought down for a loss. And looks like some whistles after the play here.
Yeah, and, we talked about those type of plays earlier about, getting to the edge and going to the wide side of the field. And what it does is it allows those athletes on the other side of the football to get the angles and get to the ball easier, because there's more room for them to move, and that's why it's tough for that play to really work against tougher athletes. So they're gonna kind of want to stay away from doing that and do more deliberate plays that are quicker.
A loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 34-yard line. 10 minutes to go in this first half, and Pembroke looking to change the play here, and they have to call timeout as not everyone was on the same page. Not sure if there was an audible there or what was going on, but Pembroke smartly takes that timeout.
sometimes, early in the season, he's got a play called and he looks out and the alignment is wrong. They don't have the right alignment. So, that looked like that was what that was going on there. Central, it looks like they have really athletic kids. They don't have the size that they normally would have. I'm looking down and I'm, looking down at the down linemen and stuff. And Memorial in the last game was much bigger. And Central is like, looks like they have more sleek kids and athletic kids, which, you know what? There's nothing wrong with speed.
No, it's worked for West last year.
Yeah, and on defense, it's really good. So we'll see what they can do this year. And hopefully, now that I'm not coaching anymore, it's easy to root for all the teams,
Oh, for sure.
So anybody in Manchester that's playing football, man, I'm rooting for every kid.
Well, again, a 3rd and 10. It's going to be handoff and smothered quickly. A loss of 5 on the play. And this Little Green defense is ready to go so far in this contest.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting to the ball. And, again, the plays are kind of slow to develop. So that's not helping. That was Cody England, I think, on the tackle, 17. So he got to the ball pretty quick there.
Pembroke will punt here, and about the 19-yard line. Let's see if the snap can be good and make something happen here. High snap, but able to get it, and almost a rugby-type kick in some ways. It drops down at the 50 and takes a positive bounce here for Central, and finally down at about the 48-yard line. So a punt of roughly about 15 yards, and Little Green will get the ball for the second time. Again, they've only ran one play, and it was an 84-yard run. So we'll see if they try to do something again. This one would go for 48 yards. So
I'll tell you what we haven't seen tonight, Kyle, is a good punting game. The punts that we have seen tonight, and not we had a couple in the earlier games that went like 4 or 5 yards. And nobody's really booting it yet. So, again, it comes back to working on your special teams and working on your punt game. And it's part of the game, so you really got to put it in. And, Pembroke's kind of famous for that little rugby style, too.
Well, a little handoff here and another big run here. First down and more, going to the 10, the 5, and touchdown. My, oh, my, 2 plays. 2 touchdowns for Central, and my, oh my, he's already up to 130 yards of rushing here, Buzz.
Yeah, and it's just a mismatch. You saw the Central receiver on that side. He just drove the cornerback for Pembroke 40 yards backwards. If the kid was smart, he would have fell.
Yeah, I mean,
after 10 yards, I always tell my kids fall. Because, at least you might trip up the runner. But there's nothing going on defensively for Pembroke tonight against these guys. They're just outmatched.
Jabril Dunga is looking very good so far in this Jamboree. And now we'll see what Drake does. It's going to hand off and another 2-point conversion. And this score now is 16-0. With the Central Little Green in charge here. And, wow.
Yeah, it's a good start for them. I mean, Pembroke's kind of shell-shocked against a bigger opponent. I'm not 100% sure why you would enter this Jamboree if your roster is this small. It's a tough – you're playing against a Division I team, and, when you're a team with a roster this small, and I've coached teams with rosters not quite this small, but pretty small. When I was at Raymond the first years of me digging out teams out of a hole, and the last thing you want is any kind of injury to your starters. And you're putting yourself in there. You're almost better off just having regular scrimmages. But once you commit to it, then I guess you got to stay with it. But I would second guess that myself if I was coaching that team.
Kick taken about the 19-yard line, tries to get some spot. It's still on his feet, and he steps out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans looking to get something going here. They were able to get a first down, and now we'll see just what they can do. As taking that kick was number 3, and thankfully he's right back out there doing all the different plays, and that is Gavin Gross.
Yeah, and that's that's what I'm saying. Is like the kids like Gavin and other their star players that are going to be during the season. You don't want them getting hurt here, so it's kind of a catch-22. You want to see how you match up with a better team. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with playing a better team, but more under a more controlled environment is better. Like a regular scrimmage is controlled. You're playing 10 plays on offense, 10 plays on defense. Here you're in a game situation. So far, the central kids haven't even touched the ground when they're running the ball, right? Nobody's touched the ground.
No, I don't think
there was a return that went all the way back that got called back, and then the 2 run plays have been just him jogging in the end zone.
Penalty on Central, so it'll be a 1st and 5. And now trying to set something up. Oh, going backwards. Got to get rid of the ball. He stays on his feet, and he gets a big hit out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by the Pembroke kid, though. He got right back up, ran hard. He kind of, he's got a learning environment there, too. You got to either go out of bounds quick or lower your shoulder. Don't, stand straight up and take the lick like that.
Yeah, Porter Brown, he was doing everything that he could, was able to get to the edge, but once he tried getting upfield, there was a big hit there. And now it'll be a 2nd and 6. They're going to say he lost a yard on that.
Yeah, and you see the players for Pembroke aren't smooth, right? They're a little delayed, or the snap is off or something like that. And when you have a roster this small, if you're missing a kid or two, in the first couple days of practice or whatever, it takes a while for them to get, their plays down. So,
man in motion here for the Spartans, and Porter is going to hold it, and he is going to get the first down.
Tough kid. Good
rumbling
run
up to the 40-yard line, and a 1st and 10 for the Pembroke Spartans with 8:38 remaining in this first half. Again, down 16-0. They just got to continue to get positive yards and try to get as far as they can versus a tough Division I team.
I like that run because he just took a lick on the sidelines, right? We talked about it right there. He took a pretty hard lick, and then, man, he went right in between the tackles there and lowered his shoulder. That was much better.
Well, 1st and 10, go the Spartans. Porter passing, but the pass is going to go out of bounds, as I'm not sure if he just did not have a good grip on that or if he saw that the play wasn't going to work out and just kind of got rid of it.
I think it was a little of both. Yeah, he didn't really have that. He just kind of flinged it out there. And yeah, he had guys running down the field, but that was for the intention of clearing out the zone for the little quick pass. I don't know. Well, maybe you run the ball again with him.
Well, we'll see what they can do as the offensive line of Pembroke gets to the line of scrimmage, and now man in motion again, and Porter Brown gets the ball. He's going to try to get his block and is able to get up to the 44-yard line, so a gain of about 4 on that play.
He looks like a running back playing quarterback.
And now we have a little green player down, and this is not what they're hoping for, as he seems to be in some considerable pain. Trainer running out there, and certainly we've gotten lucky throughout this Jamboree to not really have too many serious injuries, but when you see Coach Ray walking across the field to make sure that he's okay, it's not a good sign right there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that happened particularly, but I don't know. It looks like a leg injury of some kind.
Obviously, we saw some West players dealing with cramping earlier in this contest, but now
it's getting up.
Gets up, and that's a huge sign right there.
Good.
Walking on his own power back to the sidelines, and huge victory morally right there. And it looks like that is none other than John Dang.
Yeah, hopefully John's okay.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, he toughed it out and got up himself. Good for him. He's going to go over to the tent and check with the trainer. And we're at 3rd and 6.
Yeah. And now Porter Brown hands the ball off, and now he's going to be tied up and not brought down, but the play was whistled dead, and a great job by Cody England to stop that play from happening.
Yeah, the slower development plays are not going to work. Central's too quick over there. So, the only thing really that's worked is the quarterback runs. And now they're going to try to punt again, so let's see if they can get a decent one off here.
Well, they're at the 45-yard line. Punter is set up at the 33. A player coming on late here. So we'll see if any sort of trickery, as he is out wide. And now whistles all around. As there too many men? I don't know.
The umpire was stopping it for some reason. I don't know.
Well, now here we go with a punt attempt. Gets the kick and gets it away. It will drop down at the 34 and go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So
that's the best punt of the night, right?
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna say haven't really seen that good of a kick, and it even took a bounce that got positive yards for Pembroke. So
it's a smart move. You rugby kicking a little bit and keep it away from the best player on the other team, because that's who's back there to catch it. And that's what always been my theory. It's like, you're not a punt returner because you're slow. That kid has speed back there. Don't kick it to him. So, that was one of the better kicks we've seen all night.
Well, Jabril,
it wasn't huge, but it's still.
Jabril, who already has 134 yards on 2 running attempts with 2 touchdowns. We'll see what he does here if he gets the ball from the 25-yard line. Add another 75. I mean, why not just go for 210 yards on 3 carries?
I just want to see somebody hit the ground with the ball in their hand.
Well, setting up to the far side of the field here, closer to the Pembroke sidelines. And now getting the call here, and now
they're missing a
Dang's back out on the field, so that's good that he is okay after that injury timeout. So John Dang setting up in the guard spot, and flags thrown here.
They were a mess from the get-go there.
And now it's going to be a penalty on Central.
Yeah.
A false start. Dang probably didn't know the play call or the.
No, and I don't think he lined up in the right spot either. So they were kind of a mess on that. Their alignment was all messed up. So.
Well, now.
I think they'll get it back pretty quick.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a 1st and 15 now, as the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. As again, Little Green leading this game 16-0. The battle of which team can be green. And now looking to pass here. Drake finds a man, and he splits the middle. And look at this. Another long touchdown for Central. A 80-yard pass for the touchdown, as Cody England is all by himself. No one in a teammates there yet, and no one for Pembroke. And 3 long plays here, and the Little Green are loving life right now.
Yeah, it's like flag football out there. They haven't touched the ground once. It's like, and I've been there, I've been, on the Pembroke side too. So it's like, it's kind of a tough situation for them. But again, you got to really double think yourself and like say, maybe next year we ought to, hit a different Jamboree or, go somewhere where they could be a little bit competitive instead of playing against a Division I team.
I mean, you got to think that Concord has a number of teams that should be a capital area Jamboree.
There's one up in Kingswood. There's options. I played in it when I was out west a couple of years when I knew that there wasn't a good.
And the 2-point conversion is good.
Yeah, at least
and
they get
now
tackled.
A 24-0 lead here, with 3 consecutive 2-point conversions going perfectly. And I think for the Little Green, they got to know that not all competitors will be, kind of a smaller team like this.
No,
that
they know that. They know, and it's just a matchup thing. Somebody's going to play them. And I think how Pembroke originally got in is somebody made a hole, and it wasn't enough teams, so that they got in. I think when I left, so I went out and played in the Kingswood Jamboree for a couple of years just to get my kids out of town, and I thought it was best at the time for my team, and then West got back in it, so I think Pembroke took that spot, and he kind of stayed with it, which good for him, but like you got to look at your team year to year and see where it fits, and sometimes it doesn't fit here.
And now a kickoff. It's going to be a little bit of a pooch kick. And it's going to be caught at about the 25-yard line, going the other length of the field, closer to the sidelines. And he's brought down about the 29-yard line. So it'll be another 1st and 10 for the Spartans as they will try to get things going one way or another. And
that being said, I like the speed and quickness of Central. They've had some kids running around the field here on both sides of the ball, getting to the football and tackling and offensively, obviously they've had all the success that they've wanted so far. So good on them for doing the job, because sometimes you can play down to your competition and not play well. I think that happened a little bit with Memorial, right, the last game.
Yeah.
Although you're not saying you're playing down to Pelham, because Pelham's no slouch at. They proved that they can play with anybody all the time. But this is good on Central to come up and stay up this late. Because the game was supposed to be 8:30 and we didn't kick off till almost 10.
Yeah, it is 10:44 in real time right now. Watching this game with 5:20 to go in the first half. I'm not sure what the running score has to be, running time score.
No, they don't do that.
I wasn't sure if that's even an idea, but either way, we're going to continue this game. And Porter Brown in the backfield gets the ball and will hand it off again. Another attempt to get him to Emil Kadam, and he is brought down for back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 12, and Pembroke is able to sense who's ready for the big time and who's not. And I got to say that the quarterback, Porter Brown, seems to be he's looking like he is going to be the heart and soul of this Spartan squad.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He's the punter too. He's playing defense. He probably fills the water jugs too. Well, you always have those kids. You see the one kid, in the small schools that do it. The kid does it all.
Good run right there.
There you go. They got to the edge.
Not sure if the ball. He was down before the ball came out, and a good attempt right there by number 4, AJ Roberts. But the punt team comes back out for the Spartans, and they will have a 4th and 7 here, so they will be kicking the ball back over to Central.
Oh, they're getting some good practice on their punt team, so that's good. And this kid had a good boot last time, so hopefully let's see if he can get another one. Maybe he's going to angle it out and roll out, and they called a timeout.
And Pembroke will rethink things here with 3:48 to go in this first half. The ball placed at about the 32-yard line. Again, it will be a 4th and 7. So do you chance trying something surprising, or do you just say, you know what, just
they had 10 guys out there. That's why he called it.
Well, that's a huge reason too.
I don't think we're going to have any trickery here. I think he just wants to get the punt off, and you got to have some teaching moments too, So he's going to call timeout, and let's make sure we get this right during the season, because next week they're playing West. So, that's
the first week of school starts this week. For those that don't like to hear that, I'm sorry, but for the parents, that they're pretty excited to be able to send their kids back.
Sure, they are.
And that game will be again on Manchester Public Television, a 7 o'clock start. now punt here from Pembroke, and he sky highs that. See if this takes a good Pembroke bounce. It does, and it stops at the 41-yard line. So Central, who has only had 3 plays on offense, all 3 have gone for touchdowns.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm going to miss that West celebration next week. I got to go to a wedding, so I'm not going to be at that one. But I'll be listening in and see what's going on. Looks like they're going to have a good opponent they can go against here. West looked pretty strong tonight against BG. I mean, BG, on the scoreboard beat them, but BG is a lot better than these 2 teams that are out here right now. So, West is probably going to have a good night. It's going to be a good celebration and another positive thing going on over there.
Oh, it certainly is the case, and now we'll see Drake will hand it off, an end around, and out of bounds there. The first play that does not go for 6, and that's something to take for, for happiness for the Pembroke Spartans to know that they're able to push them out of bounds. But we do have an injured Spartan player who is not able to get up off of one knee. So
one of the big boys.
Trainer will come out, and it's never what you want to see. As obviously when you're playing both sides of the ball, you don't really get a chance to rest ever.
Yeah.
So
you just got hit a little wrong in the back, and
that would be a number 79, and that is a Lucius Smith.
Lucius took one to the back, and that is never fun.
He will slowly make his way across the field, and now you know that's a big spot right there. Is another.
Hopefully he's okay.
They can't play the game until he gets off the field. So as Central is trying to get ready to go.
They're not going to let them snap it.
No, the officials are right there making sure that they do not let the little green play until he makes his way over. And now the referee blows the whistle, and now we're good to go with 3:30 remaining. Man in motion, cutting back, and a flag. A ball goes backwards. Drake does not jump on it. It's still going, and now a big loss here for the Little Green, able to keep the possession, and we'll see what the flag is. It most likely will be negated.
2 men in motion, so it's illegal shift, and that's going to be declined, obviously.
Yeah, certainly that was a big fumble that just kept getting worse and worse before finally covering that up. And now Coach Ray will talk to Drake about how to jump on the ball a little bit better next time.
Yeah, he kind of tried to pick it up first, and then he kicked it around. And that'll happen, and then all of a sudden the other team's on top of you. So that play was doomed from the start. It doesn't look like, I don't know what they were trying to do there. They had one guy in motion going back, and then the other guy started in motion. So you can't do that. You can't have 2 guys in motion.
Well, a loss of, get this, 13 yards on that play. It'll now be 3rd and 23. The biggest mistake here by the Little Green.
By Central. So
and now
Coach Ray is destined to take this to midnight tonight. He wants to. He's been here all day. He's been here for a couple days, and they do a good job running this thing. It's a lot of work, and I know it's a lot of work for him. Getting all these teams organized, and with the lightning tonight, it made it very difficult. Watching the weather all day and seeing if they were able to get it in. They squeezed the first one in, and it had to be stopped. And so now it's it's kind of a relief you're getting to the end of it. But he's got a football team to coach too.
He does. You got to make sure that they're ready to go. It's going to be
top of it.
Just 1 week away before
they
these games are meaningful, and nothing worse than being like, you don't know how to cover a fumble. It's stuff like that. But again, all you said that Coach Ray might take this to midnight. Well, it's 70 minutes away here, so we'll see what happens. And again, 3rd and 23 here as Drake Jamie's out back here, and He will be in the shotgun formation, a lefty thrower who has been part of the Trevor Knight QB camp. A long throw, and he connects. Look at this. Another big play for the Little Green, and it's another touchdown Central.
That kid looks pretty good. That's a nice ball.
I was talking to him before the game, as I know that he's been a big part of the Knight QB, and
and it seems like everybody that works with that guy, comes out better, so he's been a good asset for the area, working with the quarterbacks over the years.
And now the score is 30-0, and they're going to go for 2 again, and you can see the energy out here is flowing with Central pride right now as a big touchdown right there. Coach Bezoin, I mean, happy to see it, but it's a meaningless game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you do going forward here? You don't have, again, Coach Ray didn't dress a lot of his underclassmen tonight because, he doesn't have a bunch of them dressed on there. So hopefully he can get a second team together and put them out there.
And
at least on offense.
Conversion is good.
Yeah.
And now a 32-0 lead right now. And Coach Ray comes out and has a few words to say to his team to make sure that they do not get themselves in trouble by talking too many, rude ways to get a 15-yard penalty. And we will get a taunting call against unsportsmanlike. Yeah.
Well, the first touchdown, the kid spiked the ball. So, again, some of these kids, athletic, they're not, it's not like a discipline problem. I think they just don't know better sometimes, and they get too excited and they do things like that. That's not acceptable, but at the same time, if they're learning from it tonight, then good. It happens. I get it. I've been there.
I'm kind of confused. Does the ball go back 15 yards?
It does, yeah. It does.
So they have it on the 40, but it's got to go back to the 25.
The player's going to mark it out himself, which
that's why I was.
The coach, the ref is going to grab the ball from him, hopefully, but the player's marking it out. Yeah.
And here we go with the ball being marked at the 25, and. Never have seen this, really, Coach. The referee had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. The kid marked it out himself. He said, put it on the 25. So,
well, here we go. 3:09 remaining in this first half. And now Pembroke will most likely get the best field position that they've had in this game, depending on this kick. At the same time, he could have a strong leg and kick it quite a ways. So, it's going to be end over end taken, and big man tries to get to the opposite field. He gets to the 50, the 45, and he is brought down. An awkward tackle right there. But
yeah, I mean, the Pembroke players kind of run straight up with the football. Looks like, some of them haven't played a lot of football. Because that kid, again, was running straight up. So, when you're about to be tackled, you got to lower your shoulder a little bit and protect yourself or come out with a stiff arm. And they're just kind of taking the hit. But that was a good run.
Jace Mishu doing a great job of he wanted that ball. The junior was able to see that and was able to make the play. And now Pembroke into Central territory at the 43-yard line, a 1st and 10 for the Spartans, who – now we'll see what happens here. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to run it with the quarterback. That's the only thing that's been successful. So, go with what's working tonight. Yeah.
And now
that works too.
A neutral zone infraction on the Little Green, as they. I don't know if that was just Pembroke teaching themselves how to.
Pembroke went on 2 and Central went on 1. Simple as that.
Now, for the second time, Pembroke will get a 1st and 5 with the ball now going up to the 38-yard line. They could make themselves possibly 6 points if they keep going, getting Central to have stupid penalties.
Yeah, I mean, Again, running with the quarterback.
Oh, it's going to be up the middle, and this will be
There
good
you go.
for a
It's a good
first
run.
down. Still chugging away down into the past the 30 to the 28-yard line. So 1st and 10 now. Go Pembroke, and not sure. I mean, it still seems like there's some big defensive linemen here for the Little Green. So
Yeah, he could be filtering some guys in though. It's tough to tell with the numbers again, but either way, it doesn't matter if you're Pembroke. You know, you're just trying to get something positive out of it, and that was a good positive play right there. Nice run. That was their best run of the night, really.
Absolutely, and that's why I didn't know that some things are starting to work here for Pembroke. When it's, again, a big deficit, but at the same time, you're more worried about coming down to Manchester next Friday night as it is.
Right.
And now, what is is this the one is going to go on Pembroke for movement here, as that was a perfect encroachment that got the guy moving. So
Yeah, they did call it on them. Okay.
it will be a 1st and 15. So you had a 1st and 5 on one play, and now a 1st and 15 on another.
And this game is going to last as long as a full game is going to. I mean, I'm looking up, and that clock hasn't moved. 30-0, and it's like, he's still in the first quarter.
Well,
it's tough to do.
Brown gets the ball, is going to hand it off, trying to get to the outside, and just taken down by 3 Central players. And only so much you can do. That Central defensive line was quick to get there, and there's only really so much that Adam Elmo-Kadam could do there.
Yeah, they were all over that. Quickness, good quickness by the big guys and the linebackers. So
that'll move the ball back even more, and it looks like it's going to be 2nd and 20 after that loss of 5 on that play. So Pembroke still trying. We'll see what Porter Brown can do. He's going to hand it off, and now running backwards, taken down after a big hit, and he kind of started.
The quarterback, sorry, Kyle, but the quarterback behind the play took out a defensive lineman for Central. So that kid is tough. Yeah, he came back and cross-blocked a defensive lineman and pancaked him. That was an interesting play. You haven't seen that very often.
Well, after a couple yards gain, it looks like it's about a 3rd and 19 here, and 35 seconds on the clock. A long 3rd down again. Pembroke into Central territory. Man in motion. High snap, and now taken by Porter Brown, and he's going to get knocked down at about the 30-yard line, and now a 4th and 10. And at this point, you go for it. You're not going to kick it.
No, and you see that type of play, and then that type of play is going to work in D2. And that kid's tough. You can see that kid is physical and tough. So, he could be like a 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback, doesn't look like they're going to be able to sling it too much. But I say that, he got a little banged up on that play because he's been running it in between the tackles quite a bit. And we're going into the next quarter finally.
Yeah, so they will change directions here, as now we'll take a quick break and both teams get things squared away, as we will get a 4th and 10 from the 28-yard line. Again, Pembroke will now be going left to right across your screen. And the Little Green, who have looked great through the first 12 minutes, are got to be happy with some things here, as Drake has thrown over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, while the running game has looked phenomenal as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have a young quarterback like that. Lefty, he gets the ball down the field, and that was a good ball on that long one the last time, that's for sure.
Yeah, so as the chain gang will make their way down the field as well. It's been a wonderful night here at Gill Stadium, as the final period or half, whatever you want to call this, is to be played here. It is crossed the 11 o'clock hour here, Coach. This night started at 3:30 with Alvin Sauhegan And that's going to be I mean, I wish they played each other more often because that was just fun to watch when we both got here. Trinity getting kind of beaten up a little bit earlier in this contest. And now we'll see Pembroke if they can get something going here on 4th and 10. Porter Brown is pump fakes, throws it deep, and unable to find his man. And a turnover on downs for the Spartans. It looked like he had a guy, but just wasn't able to get it, to hit him.
He didn't have grip of the football when he went to go throw it. He kind of had to double clutch it, and, that was too late then.
The attempt was to Gavin Gross, and the junior will look to be the top wide receiver here for the Spartans, as they've tried to hit him a few times. Some have been successful. And
let's see, I think Central is attempting to put some twos in there on offense. And, that's sometimes tough to do when you don't have your full, JV squad here or anything. So you're kind of filtering different guys in the different positions. And I don't know if they're going to do that or not. No, maybe not. No, it looks like their ones are still in there.
Well, that play took 8 seconds off the clock, so 11:52 remaining in this contest. And Drake comes back after getting the play, and we'll look to see what he does. The last play was a big 80-yard touchdown pass, so we'll see if he has another one in store. This time the ball is placed at the 27-yard line, and 1st and 10 are the Central Little Green. A handoff there, and he is going to be wrapped up and brought backwards. The strength right there of the Spartan number 1. Very impressive to see the strength of Cole Demers on that play.
I never try to guess what Coach Ray is going to do, because every time I do, I'm wrong. But in this instant, I would think he's just going to run the football now. The kid already had his touchdown pass for the night. It's 32-0. Let's just run the football, use some clock here, get a couple first downs. If they score again, they score again. That's fine. But I think that's what he'll do. But I've been wrong with him many times.
Well, either way, a 2nd and 9 here. And another run play up the middle. Get some space and get some yards, but it's finally tackled. And it will be a 3rd and long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say long, but,
yeah,
3rd down.
5. Less than 5.
As, again, a 32-0 lead, and you don't need to really press that gas pedal too much more at this point. It's just a matter of getting everyone on the same page and feeling like, you know what, when I put you in the game, I want you to be able to do what is needed for this team.
And good on the Pembroke kids for not laying down either. Last couple downs at least, they got to the football and made some decent tackles. So
again, a 3rd and 4 here as the
handoff,
and he's able to pick it up, still on his feet and brought down. And now what do you do here? Do you
punt it? You punt it.
You do.
You're up 32-0. There's unwritten rules, in you don't want to do anything to embarrass another team. So you just punt it. You're going to work on your punting game, which is good. And, you probably didn't think you were going to get a chance to punt in this game. So punt it, work on it. Let's see if they can get 11 guys on the field, because a lot of teams have struggled with that tonight in their punt team.
Especially when someone gets injured and you forget that you need to fill that hole.
That's the big thing.
And now, you look at it.
It's a good example. There's another one coming in late.
Number 62, quick to get notice and get out there. So Jacoby Sanchez out on the play. And
I still only have 10. No, I got 12.
Oh, now. Never mind. Sanchez doing the 40-yard little run there. High snap. The kick gets over the 50. See if it takes a central bounce and gets some more yards here. And now on it. And now a lot of the Central team are pointing the opposite way. But
yeah, I mean, if it touched a Pembroke kid, and then I don't think I don't think the refs are going to call that now.
Now, as 8:56 remaining, Pembroke with another opportunity to get the feel for this team again, as hopefully no one injured for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I like the quarterback. He's a tough kid. So I think, he's going to be their focal point, I would imagine. And they're struggling again here, so they're going to call another timeout. See, again, if they get one kid banged up that's on defense, and he's also like the offensive tackle, then somebody's going to be paying attention. And when you're that thin and you look down the bench and you don't have anything left, it's tough. I've been there.
So
and it's not fun.
I know that Central plays Nashua North next Sunday down there at Stello Stadium. The quarterbacks, both lefties, both going to the same QB camp with Trevor Knight.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that do, and honestly, most of the kids around here go to him. So, yeah,
he did a great job with Nashua South. Played at UNH,
and his dad, was the head coach at Nashua South, and now he's coaching up at Plymouth State.
Wow, I was not aware of that.
He moved up that area. And, Coach Castonia is always looking for help up there. He's asked me about 1,000 times to go coach up there. But, he's up coaching at Plymouth State. Great coach, Scott Knight.
And to the 50-yard line go the Spartans, so a 9-yard gain.
Good run.
And great to see there from Adam to keep going here. Central will have a tough home game, their first of the year, on September 12th against the Pinkerton Astros, we saw before.
But Bedford beat them up pretty good, right?
They did.
Today, so and I like the speed and quickness of Central, and I think they're going to improve as the season goes. They might, have a tough record, but Central has a tough schedule. Each and every year they're playing top teams, and they're in a conference that is very difficult.
Pass play here, and he is going to be immediately hit before he can even get on the ground. A big tackle right there, and that's a sure sign that your defense is ready to play for the Little Green.
And, you see the speed and quickness, and that's what West has too. West has that speed and quickness, and so I think matchup-wise, from what I've seen tonight, West has a definite edge next week.
Well, Adam Elmo-Kamum has been very busy here. He ran the play to get the 9 yards, caught that actually went for negative yards on that. So a 3rd and 2, and got to expect a QB draw here for Porter Brown to try to just get this first down.
Yeah, they've had success with it before, but is he even in there?
Now that you say that, I'm second
Looks
guessing
like
this.
6.
Yeah,
number 6. It's a different kid.
So looking to do the QB is Dom Brady, and Dom will hand the ball off, and now able to get the first down. Nice job right there.
And that's the second good run that kid's had tonight.
Jace Michoud has really proven himself right here with possibly taking the RB1 spot.
And that's a first down, so that's good. Good on them. In that last defensive series, they came to play a little bit more, and now they got a first down. So, 32-0, it'd be easy to fold up, right? And you get a couple of guys banged up on the sidelines, then they're not folding up. So good on them.
Well, here we go with a 1st and 10 into Central Territory. And Dom Brady with a pass play is caught, and it's going to be immediately brought down. Fumble picked up. No, it's going to be called down.
Called incomplete. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what could have been a big turnover for Pembroke goes for.
I call it forward progress. Yeah, that was a 32-0 call, I think. But yeah, it's a backup quarterback, so you only got about 20 guys over there, and you got 2 quarterbacks, so that's good at least. They have somebody in case the other kid gets banged up, and you certainly don't want to get that kid hurt tonight.
No, for
sure. Quarterback,
it already happened to West. As, they have to deal with a new quarterback that they weren't expecting, but a nice run here by.
Yeah, Central has filtered in some subs on defense here. We got another banged up kid. That's what you don't want if you're Pembroke, because again, we talked about this and measuring, is this a good thing to do the week before you play, all right? Because, they could be limping into West next week down 2 or 3 players, right?
And this looks to be Brock Chatwin that is down, the freshman, and he seems to be in a considerable pain right now with 5:56 to go in this contest. Pembroke is putting together a little bit of a drive here as they want to just get some points here and show that they're not going to give up, and that we love to see it in a lot of ways too.
Oh yeah, I mean, in these last 2 drives, they've shown that defensively and offensively, they're not going to just roll over. They're kids, they're tough kids. They're just up against a more athletic and bigger school. I mean, the school is probably twice the size as Pembroke. And they just don't. This is what you just don't want to see because, let's say this kid, rolled his ankle or something, and he's got to go to the doc, and he's out next week. So it's not like you just look down the bench and there's another one standing there. You've got to reinvent yourself. If 51 for Pembroke plays both ways, well, that's 2 positions you got to replace. Maybe he's the tackle on the extra point team, or maybe he's the tackle on the punt team, and it's just several things you have to replace when you're only missing one guy. And I've coached in small school football a lot, so I know the pains of that.
And my apologies, it's actually Kane Belanger who is injured. He's a sophomore here. Yeah. As once I realized that he stood up that I had the wrong number here. So it was 51, not 61. And
hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, well, able to help off the field. And now a broken play here, just trying to get some positive yards. Still on his feet. And look at this. Pembroke with a first down and more out of bounds inside the red zone. And that obviously wasn't designed.
No, and I think the broken play helped him because all the Central kids flowed to where the football was supposed to go, I think. And he didn't get the handoff off, and he ended up standing there with the football in his hand. And, the Central kids were all going the other way, and he just took off. So.
And you got to hate when the quarterback comes over. He's like, I meant to do that. And he's smiling. Yeah. Tom Brady is like, yeah, that's what I had in mind here, Coach.
Yeah.
Got the ball and realized, oh no, this isn't supposed to happen. So as he gets out of bounds, it's going to be 1st and 10 from just inside the 15-yard line, and Pembroke has some time to see what they can do here. And could there be a quarterback battle here for the Spartans if Dom is able to get a touchdown?
Well, if this kid was able to play quarterback full-time, I would imagine the other kid would move to running back because he was more of a running back playing quarterback anyways. He was a tough kid. And I'm staring over at the sidelines. Looks like he got banged up a little bit. So he's over there stretching and stuff. So smart move would be just to keep him on the bench the rest of the time. Because, he's going to be – Parker's going to be their player, I think. And they've already got a kid on the bench, and they have that 51 kid that just went out. And, you can't afford to lose kids when your roster's that thin.
Well, 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Pembroke with a now 2nd and 10 here. And let's see what Brady can do here from behind center. Central trying to keep them scoreless. And now a end around that does not go anywhere and is quickly brought down. The run play right there to Jack Dimitrieff. Dimitrieff falls for a loss of, looks like 2 here. So a 3rd and long here for the Spartans. And we'll see if Dom has an arm. If he can connect here. You're inside the red zone. You might as well try something here with under 4 to go. Looks left, looks right. Got one man in the backfield in the shotgun formation. Pass behind the scrimmage and almost.
Well, that's a lateral. They called it incomplete, but that was definitely behind. That's, again, another 32-0 call. And they're going to go for a field goal here, it looks like.
And a great read right there by Carson
wrong?
Salvi. And
yeah, they're trying to kick it.
Well, why not, right?
Yeah. So if you got a guy that can boot it that far, I mean, what are they spotting it on the 20?
Looks like about the 22, 21-yard line.
Okay, so 30. This is number 30, kicking it.
And doing all the work again, Porter Brown will be the holder. And doing the kicking will be Jace Michoud. So Michoud will try to get 3 on the board here for the Spartans. And kick is up, and it is good. So the Spartans are on the board.
Well, it's a 32-yard field goal.
Nice kick right there by Jace.
Right down the middle.
And, well, the special teams for the Spartans look like they're in good shape here going into the season.
That's a good positive momentum at the end of this game for them, because not only did they, have a good defensive stand against Central, and then, offensively they moved the ball a little bit there, and then they didn't leave a 0 up on the board. The kid booted a 32-yard field goal, and that can be, in D2, that could be a weapon, in some close games. Pembroke's probably not going to be at the top of the standings in D2, but like in the middle ground games, that could be a weapon, 3 points, and it looks like you can easily kick an extra point, right? So you're gonna get your extra points every time you score. So
Pembroke's 4 of their first 5 games are on the road for the Spartans this year. They go to West, then they go to St. Thomas, home versus Kennett, then at Trinity and at Kingswood. So
yeah, it's tough.
You're talking about a lot of miles on the bus here to start the season, and now a return here from Central, still on his feet, able to get past 2 guys, now hits to the outside. He could go all the way to the 40, the 30, the 20, still on his feet and into the end zone. A nice return for
flags.
Touchdown. I'm looking for flags myself, and the celebration is on here after a big return for a touchdown with 3:18 remaining in this contest.
And then Central's got a lot of speed. I mean, once he turned on the afterburners there, and he got to the outside, he was gone. Now, it was poor tackling by Pembroke, but again, they're pretty tired at this point. Those kids have all been playing both ways this whole time, and they're pretty gassed. It's tough to kick it off after that. But it's still, that doesn't take away the end of their game and their effort at the end of the game. So,
Well, touchdown was good here, as there was a penalty on the play.
Get some kind of offense out there, either go for one or Coach Ray called a timeout, I believe, on the extra point, because sometimes when you score in special teams, it's tough. You got to get you're going to kick it, or he obviously didn't have a kicker ready because they went for 2 every time so far, right?
Yeah, they have not had a kicker here in this contest. So
I've been in this position on the winning side, and it's tough. If you take a knee, you don't really want to take a knee on a 2-point conversion, because it's kind of like a slap in the face to the other team. You don't really want to do that. He doesn't have a kicker right now, so he's not going to kick it. So you got to kind of go for 2. Then it looks like you're running it up. So you're in a no-win situation. I've had teams get mad at me for both, believe it or not. It's like I've had teams get mad because we took a knee. I had teams get mad because we ran a 2-point conversion. I've had teams get mad because we kicked it. So it's like when you're up by this much, you really don't have, you can never do the right thing.
Well, let's see if they try a drop kick here. No, they're going to go for 2.
Doug Flutie's in
Doug
there?
Flutie out there is now taking the ball and still on his feet, and a big 2-point conversion. And this one's a feel-good story, as that was Paxton Bowman, the sophomore, as he gets a chance to prove himself for the Central Little Green. Stayed on his feet. It was almost brought down behind the end zone and was able to keep motoring and got the 2-point conversion. And Coach Ray's got to be pretty pleased with that, as he asked for him to come in late, and he gets some hugs from his teammates. And, always when you get your number called and you're able to produce, it's always a nice feeling here for the young sophomore, as now Central takes a 40-3 lead, and now Pembroke will get a chance for one more possession here and see what they can do to, put maybe a touchdown up on the board. You got at least some points. Now it's seeing if they can do more.
They're kicking it off from the 25 again.
So there was a celebration penalty after that, as I was curious if that was the case. And now Pembroke will get the ball in decent field, and you see what Dom Brady has been able to do. We'll see if he can do some more. So, kicking off here are the Little Green from the 25-yard line for the second time. A little kick that will drop in and just dropped on, and just no one was able to catch that ball cleanly here for the Spartans, and taking it was number 2, who said, "Nope, never mind. I'm going down, coach."
Yeah. The last 3 minutes are going to be painful here.
As that was none other than Owen Del Forio who was able to catch that. And now with 3 minutes remaining in this contest, the clock has started to run already, and Pembroke will get the ball. And good arm there by the referee.
Nice.
I'm impressed. That was a good 25-yard pass. And now Dom ready to go. The freshman hands off the ball, trying to get to the outside, and he's going to be smothered there. And a little extracurricular activity there, as trying to get up, and the Central guy just pushed him back down. No flags, though.
I think they're going to try to keep this moving. Well, it's like, talk to the kid, say something to him, don't do that, knock it off, and then just move on,
Because that could be a situation in a meaningful game where you give up 15 yards to your opponent, who might need to try to tie up the game or something like that.
We talked about that with Memorial earlier, and we had that same conversation last year, and they had 3 turnovers today and two unsportsmanlikes or personal fouls. So it's stuff that they've got to clean up. And if they don't clean it up, they're going to be in trouble, because they play in a tough conference as well.
Yeah, so, both teams are getting the feels out so far, and now again playing a game at 11:30 at night. You're not expecting to do that, and that's how this season kind of begins in some ways with this Jamboree, as 90 seconds left on the clock, and nice respect right there, helping the guy up. Always appreciate seeing that. And a tough run right there by Cole Demers. And
well, especially you're down 40-3, and you're still trying to run the ball between the tackles, and just kind of get the game over with. And Central, they stopped them all night, so they haven't had much of a problem.
Porter Brown comes back out onto the field, though, and we'll see where he is.
Boy. Hopefully he's a decoy.
Under 50 seconds to go in this contest, and looking around, he's going to throw, and that quarterback to quarterback right there, Coach, as it was Dom Brady throwing it to Mr. And now a lot of cheering going on there, so I was trying to figure out what was going on, but it was
I don't know. I don't know why they brought that kid back in. He was off for a little while, quite a while. And he brought him back in for the last 39 seconds. I don't know.
So a 4th down here for the Spartans with under 40 to go. So this might be their last play on offense, and we'll see what they can do here. It's going to be a handoff draw, and actually going to be held onto by the quarterback, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down at the 32-yard line. So a turnover on downs, and Central will take this ball. The clock will continue to run, and that will do it here for the Queen City Jamboree 2025. And it's been a long night here, Coach, but at least to see that Pembroke and Central will be ready for week 1 next week.
Yeah, and great having football back, and it feels like it in the air, and I'm loving it. So, hopefully we get together for a bunch of games this year. Again, I'm off next week, so I won't be able to be next week, but we'll have some different guys doing games, right? And we should have a fun season again.
Well, I'm going to give the Off the Mark Sports Player of the Game to Jabril Juma for his big running night. I mean, the first 2 times he touched the ball were touchdowns, and that put Pembroke in command here. And we congratulate him on the Jamboree Player of the Game for game number 6. For Executive Director Jason Cody, Operations Specialist Joe Lar, Operations Assistant Brendan McCormick, for Coach Tom Bezoin, it's been a pleasure to be with you for this long Friday night. It's one for the memory books for sure, and we look forward to being with you for a number of field hockey, soccer, and football games throughout this fall 2025 season. Thank you all very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon here on Manchester Public Television.